Hello students, I'm going to discuss the quick solutions of All India AIATS Test Series Miracle 2020 of test number 6 code C and D. Your test was held on 17th of February 2019 and I'll be taking your botany section. So let's start the botany section. Question number 91. Mark the incorrect statement. First option. In plants, non-green tissues need food for oxidation. Second, all the food that is respired comes from photosynthesis. Third, under certain conditions, organic acids can be used as respiratory substrates in some plants. And fourth, the energy released by oxidation in respiration is used directly. So you have to choose the incorrect statement over here. See the first statement, in plants, non-green tissues need food for oxidation. It is true. Why? Because the plants which cannot photosynthesize are non-green tissues and they need food for oxidation so that they can get energy by oxidizing the food. Whereas the green tissues, they can photosynthesize and they can get ATP from photosynthesis. Second option, all the food that is respired comes from photosynthesis. It is also true that in plants, they perform photosynthesis and food for respiration comes from photosynthesis. Third, under certain conditions, organic acids can be used as respiratory substrates in some plants. It is also true that in certain conditions, organic acids such as malic acid, aspartic acid, they can be used as respiratory substrates. Now, the last is the energy released by oxidation in respiration is used directly. No, this is not correct. Why? Because the energy released by oxidation of food in respiration, it is used to form ATP and then ATP is used by an organism. So the energy which is released during respiration cannot be used directly. So the correct option for the given question is option number 4. Let's move to the next question. Question number 92. The plant parts which respire at lower rates than animals do are A. Roots, B. Stems, C. Leaves. First option only A, second only A, B, third only A and C, fourth all A, B and C. So all the plant parts respire at lower rates than the animals. Root, stem and leaves all respire at lower rates than the animals. Plants have less demands for the gaseous exchange as compared to the animals. So the correct option for the given question is option number 4. Let's move to the next question. Question number 93. A human cell which is performing aerobic respiration is similar to that of yeast cell which performs fermentation in first option, having role of mitochondria to produce lactic acid from pyruvic acid. Second, completing the breakdown of fats, carbohydrates and proteins in cytoplasm only. Third, retaining the enzymatic machinery to partially oxidize glucose without the help of oxygen. Fourth, synthesizing same number of ATP molecules during the link reaction. This is a very interesting question which says that a human cell which is performing aerobic respiration is similar to the yeast cell which is performing fermentation. So there are two cells. First is a human cell and the second one is yeast cell. How these are similar to each other when a human cell is performing the aerobic respiration whereas the yeast cell is performing the fermentation. See the first option, having role of mitochondria to produce lactic acid from pyruvic acid. No. From pyruvic acid, lactic acid is produced during lactic acid fermentation. And in that, mitochondria is not required. Lactic acid fermentation takes place in the cytoplasm, not in the mitochondria. And here, the human cell is performing the aerobic respiration, not the lactic acid fermentation. So this option is ruled out. Second, completing the breakdown of fats, carbohydrates and proteins in the cytoplasm only. The complete breakdown of fats, carbohydrates and proteins takes place in the mitochondria, not in the cytoplasm. So this option is also ruled out. See the fourth option, synthesizing same number of ATP molecules during the link reaction. Link reaction is the reaction when pyruvic acid converts into acetyl coenzyme A, and this is a step which comes in aerobic respiration but not in fermentation. So this option is also ruled out as this cannot be the similarity. Third one, retaining the enzymatic machinery to partially oxidize glucose without the help of oxygen, and this step is called glycolysis. During the glycolysis, there is a partial oxidation of glucose without the help of oxygen, and glycolysis is the common step between aerobic and the anaerobic respiration. So this is the similarity between the aerobic respiration and the fermentation. So the correct option for the given question is option number 3. Let's move to the next question. Question number 94. Which of the following statements is not true about glycolysis? First option, the term glycolysis has originated from two Latin words. Second, by the end of glycolysis, a 6C compound converts into pyruvic acid. Third, it occurs in the cytoplasm. Fourth, it is often referred to as the EMP pathway. What is glycolysis? Glycolysis is the partial oxidation of glucose into two molecules of pyruvic acid. It takes place in the cytoplasm. So glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm. It is correct. And at the end of glycolysis, the glucose, which is a 6C compound, 6-carbon compound, converts into pyruvic acid, which is a 3-carbon compound. It is also correct. Fourth option, it is often referred to as EMP pathway. It is also correct because glycolysis was discovered by Embedin, Meyerhoff, and Parnas. And due to contributions of these scientists, this is known as EMP pathway. So this is also correct. First option, the term glycolysis has originated from two Latin words. No, it has originated from two Greek words. And these two Greek words are, first is glycos, which means sugar, and second is lysis, which means splitting. So the splitting of sugar or the glucose is called glycolysis. So this statement is incorrect. So the correct option for the given question is option number 1. Let's see the next question. Question number 95. Alcohol fermentation differs from lactic acid fermentation in first option being hazardous, second releasing CO2, third releasing 36 ATP as net gain, fourth not using any reducing agent. How alcoholic fermentation differs from lactic acid fermentation? Both are hazardous processes. So this is common for both. This option is ruled out. Third option, releasing 36 ATP as net gain. No, the net gain of ATP in both the fermentation processes are 2 only. So this is not true for both alcoholic as well as lactic acid fermentation. Fourth one, not using any reducing agent. This is also incorrect for both of them. Why? Because they use reducing agent called NADH plus H plus. So this option is also ruled out. Now the remaining one is the second one, which says releasing CO2. Yes, during the alcoholic fermentation, there is a release of CO2 which cannot be seen in lactic acid fermentation. During lactic acid fermentation, there is no release of CO2. So the correct option for the given question is option number 2. Let's see the next question.